KW kidney, a Kimmel-Wilson kidney, it will result in renal failure in about 4 to 6 months.
Really?
Or for ordinary people, maybe 4 to 6 years.
How about those who were injured? Injuries like in sports?
Well, injuries usually take about only weeks. The pain normally disappears. But when we talk about chronic pain, even injuries 20 years ago, they're still painful now. And that is a management enigma. A lot of doctors, they're giving anticonvulsants to relieve the pain. But it doesn't work that good. The best is just manipulate them. Just 15 to the longest will be about 60 seconds. The pain is already gone.
You know, we were talking earlier when I'm giving away my age, but when I was growing up, we kind of followed what Grandma said for things that worked, you know, and got away from that after I was already an adult, and everybody just started taking a pill for everything. And as I mentioned before, my high school mates, you know, they've got all of the pills of a pharmacy in their houses, and they're taking this one at this time and that one at that time and something else. And it seems that Americans, at least, are really overprescribed on a lot of medicine, I would think. And I discovered myself that when I was blessed to near the age of 60 to have COPD, and I said, thank you for the birthday present.
COPD.
And I had to take steroids for a while, but then I discovered that there are exercises that I can do in breathing that made it so that I didn't need the medicine anymore. So I became a believer from the idea that you can do things to overcome some of these problems without medicines or without the drugs. But you mentioned also about drugs and the problem that they're the fourth cause of death in
yeah, in America.
In America.
Yeah, but the third one is more troublesome. The third cause of death in America is doctors.
Doctors? But aren't they the ones who are overprescribing the medicines?
Yeah, we just have to play it safe.
Yeah. And the kind of therapies that you do are safe. But you mentioned that you're doing strokes and arthritis, right? Now, that means that you're going to be dealing with a lot of cranky old people.
Yeah.
Right? So tell me how it is to deal with, I mean, my grandfather had a stroke, and his personality changed completely after he'd had his stroke.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with that?
Just to let it move, and it will change everything.
Really? Is that's
just even to open that hand, which you can easily do in 1 second, is going to make them smile right away. Actually, the problem there is when they start to cry, tears of joy, and they hug you, and sometimes you cry along with them.
Wow. Yes. And so it's that immediate, and
that is what Mancao myotherapy is all about. It's immediate relief of chronic pain.
Now, of course, it doesn't work with 100% of the people, right? Or does it?
A great majority for pain relief, yes.
Yeah.
For pain relief, it should be more than 90%.
Won't there be a wrong move that...
That is why we teach them very carefully, especially the students, on what to do. What are the safety stops that I have learned all these years. That's what we do on the first day, teach them all the safety stops, so that you don't meet an accident or create one.
Okay. No, I know that chiropractors, I guess, we used to call them chiropractors, I suppose, when I was a kid. And they do a lot of bone popping and stretching and all sorts of things that are kind of scary, you know. And I noticed that you weren't doing anything very violent or...
No, not so much.
And you were the one that was being done.
How did it feel anyway?
It felt like simple stretching.
Yeah.
And with the bones.
But you heard so many things.
Yes.
That's it. And you were doing her, you know, at the top. Now we're talking, that's the top of the body. What sort of things do you do on the lower body?
Yeah, we have to do the lower body because of the faulty loading among females, especially the heavy bags. It causes a pelvic tilt, meaning to say the pelvis is not horizontal. It's one leg is longer than the other. And that's why if you look at your shoes, if you wear them nearly daily, you'll notice the wear and tear of the shoe is not the same. And We do this in the clinic. We make them the same in length, and they feel funny for 1 week or 2 weeks because all the years they have been walking with one leg longer. But we have to do that in scoliosis because in scoliosis we have to bring it back the same tension, the same length on both sides.
And how long is the therapy, for example, of the lower body? About how long does that last?
The manipulation for the
manipulation,
lower body is less than 60 seconds. That's why low back pain is always less than 60 seconds for all of us who are doing manipulations. And you evaluate this immediately by letting the patient jump. There should be no pain on landing. If there's pain in landing, then there is still a residual muscle that is tight, and we can easily treat that with the machines.
Wow. And so you do this manipulation, you do the same thing there. They have a 3-day
honeymoon
period.
period.
Or
We call it the honeymoon period.
And they come back and you take a look again,
Yeah,
and then maybe use the machine or the,
Most of them, they don't need the machine anymore with one manipulation. If it's just neck and shoulder pain, the ones that come back to the clinic or have to come back are those with painful shoulders, the frozen shoulders. These are, it will take us about 3 to 6 sessions sometimes to do that. But we don't do it the way we do it in hospitals, because in hospitals, painful shoulder or frozen shoulder can be 2 to 5 years. Can you imagine 2 to 5 years of treatment, 3 times a week? That's a lot of money.
In Japan, they have an expression called gojukata, which means 50-year-old shoulders, you know, where everybody has the problem, you know, of, not being able to get your overcoat on or get it off. And, we all have that problem, I suppose, as we go along. And your manipulations can
Easily,
cure that?
Very easily. As a matter of fact, after this, we will do you, and you will see the difference immediately. It's like magic. It's like magic.
I'm always up for magic, And I'm sorry we're not going to be able to show this on on the TV, but that and you said strokes. Where a person, I thought that when a person has a stroke, that's a permanent damage.
No, not necessarily. It is how to make them go into the road to recovery as fast as possible. Right. And you can break the spasticity, the stiffness or the flaccidity by just doing very funny techniques. It's very, very fast. When you see it, it's so funny because it takes only less than 60 seconds to do.
You showed me something earlier about the left side of the body versus the right side of the body. Why is that different?
Well, remember, because of our handedness, we favor always one particular side of the body.
Right.
If you jump, you notice that if you're right-handed, when you run, you will jump off with your right and you'll land with your right also.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is always this, although our body is supposed to be equally tuned, the left side and the right side, we favor one side. Now, if you're playing tennis, that's all right side.
But if in my case, I'm a left